Prepare yourself.
Oh, this is the Ninja Troll radio show.
All right, hello and welcome to the Ninja Troll Digicast. My name is Tim Dixon, Timmy D, as I'm usually called by Chuck Charles. And I am here. Unfortunately, Chuck and Laura cannot be with us for this show. So I'm joined by Professor Pixel, our friend of the show, Mike Worth.
Hey! How you doing, everybody?
Mike is here to help me out to do this show because we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. We've got HeroesCon coming up in Charlotte, North Carolina, 2 weeks next weekend, and they've just made a huge announcement, which actually makes the con a whole lot bigger now. The man, Stan Lee, will be there.
Amazing.
It's a huge opportunity because I mean, quite frankly, Stan's what, 92?
I think so.
He's at the very least he's in his 90s. So how much can this guy travel around to cons? I mean, it can't be a lot. I know he does San Diego Comic-Con every year. That's become such a huge deal.
And New York, perhaps.
And,
right?
yeah, probably in the New York Comic-Con. But I mean, he's a 92-year-old man.
He has dinner at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Exactly, and he's done for the day. So this, I mean, it's a huge deal. If you go to heroesonline.com, they put the information about tickets. Of course, it's a separate deal to get to meet, get a picture with, or get an autograph with Stan. There's actually a setup Friday night. There's a meet and greet with Stan for $5.
Damn.
$500 to hang out. There'll be no pictures taken. There'll be no autographs. You're just hanging out and having cocktails with Stan Lee.
Damn.
How cool is that?
I mean, that's pretty cool. But there's no evidence, right? You can't be like, Stan's a martini drinker.
Well,
over.
the next day you do get your autograph and your picture.
Cool.
And of course, because hey, if I paid $500, I better be front in line.
Totally. Yeah.
I better be the first one there. So yeah, the next day you get early entry to the con, and you get a picture and an autograph with Stan. So, I know a couple of people already have signed up for it because that's Stan Lee.
That's huge. Oh, I mean, look, we got this little old con, right? I mean, it's been around for a long time, but It's grown and grown and grown. I mean, this kind of puts us in superstar level here. I mean, do you think it's because of Spider-Gwen?
Yes, Spider-Gwen has brought him to Charlotte. Actually, I mean it's with Rico. I've forgotten Rico's last name now.
Renzi.
Rico Renzi, who is the inker for or colorist for Spider-Gwen, who actually is an employee at Heroes.
Right.
So that has brought they've been able to get the creative team for Spider-Gwen to town a couple of times already.
Yes.
So for the big debut of Spider-Gwen #1 and then Free Comic Book Day, they were all here.
Right.
So it's kind of fun to have somebody like that who's local and can bring in those guys for different events. It's pretty cool to see those. So yeah, that may be what brought Stan here.
Yeah, and Jason Latour also lives in Charlotte. I mean, he's the writer.
I didn't realize that. I didn't realize he was local as well.
I believe so. Yeah. I don't know if he's. He's a local guy because so Rico and Jason were part of the Sketch Charlotte group, which are affiliated with the Heroes store. Not directly, but I'm a part of that group too. We meet at the Showmars across from Heroes every Thursday. And Jason and Rico were constant members, constantly going every Thursday night. And it's just an informal group of local artists, writers, colorists, everybody sort of different
I keep
job.
Saying I'm going to go, and it just never happens.
Oh, it's so much fun. I mean, Showmars is like, it's good food. I know it's like a greasy spoon, but it's like, I love me a gyro and fries and a big drink and, doodling with friends. But, those guys used to come down all the time. But now that they're, gainfully employed in the industry.
They're big time.
They are big time, but man, they hit it right, So having this huge title, it gets Stan in town. I mean, that's awesome.
And I love the title. I mean, I have a daughter who is just now starting to get, thanks to the Flash TV show, is starting to get into comics.
Nice.
So this is awesome for me. So it's fun to see something like Spider-Gwen that's a strong female character, and I feel like I can hand to her and go, oh, hey, and you need to read this too. This is really cool.
Yes.
And it's fun for me to see something like that and see Miss Marvel at the same time. It's also a teenage girl,
right?
Who and she is a Arab American. She's a Muslim, so it's something that she's dealing with. Not only is she dealing with being a teenager, just the simple fact of being a teenager, but she's also dealing with trying to exist as a Muslim in America. And then she gets these powers. She's an Inhuman, and she gets these powers on top of it. And she's a huge fangirl. That's why she's Miss Marvel, because Captain Marvel is like her hero. So when she's a polymorph. She can shapeshift.
Yeah.
So she immediately shapeshifts into Captain Marvel because that's who she thinks of when she thinks hero. And then she realizes, wait a minute, Captain Marvel's going to get a little pissed at me for taking her for stealing her gimmick. So she modifies it and she becomes Miss Marvel.
Ah.
So and she's in I think it's somewhere in Jersey. It's Jersey City.
Okay.
Or so she's
that's where she lives.
Yeah, she's the hero of Jersey City.
The hero. I don't know if that's a good thing. If you want to be the hero of Jersey City.
Hey.
Yeah.
You needed one. I remember back in the 90s, it was an independent comic, but I do remember a comic that was set in Charlotte.
Really?
I might have to.
Juwanna Man?
No, that was a movie. A bad movie. A really bad movie. I might have to look that up and see if I can find it. But it was an independent comic that a guy who was local was doing, and he set it in Charlotte.
Wow.
What was
the premise?
The guy was in Charlotte. That's all I remember.
Wow.
That's all I remember.
Exciting.
Yeah.
So...
Well, hey, it's that was the hook for it. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got HeroesCon coming up with the big Stan Lee announcement. We've got this past weekend. I went to the first annual Gaston Comic-Con.
Cool.
At the Gaston County Public Library, which except for some idiot pulling the fire alarm and everybody having to go outside in the 94-degree heat and wait on the fire truck. Other than that, it was great.
Dang.
Yeah, at some point, and I thought it was hilarious that the fire alarm goes off and we all just assume it's a false alarm. Nobody moves for the exit. Yeah, we just go, oh, is somebody gonna cut that off so we can go back to doing what we're doing? And they've gone, okay, everybody outside. They have to clear the building, and then we have to wait on the fire trucks to come and clear the building because it's a public library, so it's a large building.
Yeah.
So they have to check like all 3 floors, check everywhere, and make sure everything's okay, and then we get to go back in. But at that point, everybody's all sweaty and nasty, so we just go back in. But it was a lot of fun, and they actually told me that up until that morning, they weren't sure if they were going to have another one. So they weren't calling it until that day. They weren't calling it the first annual. They were just saying it was Gaston Comic-Con.
Cool.
And then when they saw the response that they got and the amount of people that they had there, they were really happy with that. So they're definitely planning one next year. So it was a lot of fun. If you're in the Charlotte metro area, there's a lot of things going on, a lot of cons like that going on. The Charlotte Comic-Con is it's like 4 different times a year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is a one-time or one-day deal.
And that's comics and toys, right?
Mm-hmm.
They focus on.
And then the HeroesCon, of course, is as far as simply comic book conventions. HeroesCon's got to be probably the biggest one.
Yeah.
In the Southeast.
Maybe Atlanta's Dragon Con, right?
But it's not just comics.
Oh, right, because it's anime and science fiction, fantasy.
Science fiction, fantasy, and all that other stuff. So,
wow.
HeroesCon is specifically a comic book convention.
Ah,
so it's probably
amazing.
it's probably one of the biggest ones in the Southeast. So, but if you're in the Charlotte metro area, there's a lot of things going on, a lot of fun things, and this is a time that kind of it almost rivals the 90s boom. To me, it feels like I don't know how much you were into collecting in the 90s.
I got the Image I don't know, the bamboozle, right? I sort of gave away all my great comics to get in on that ground floor of number ones of that new
everybody
exciting.
was. That was at the con this past weekend. I was going around. I was talking to the vendors, and one of them had a Superman 75.
Which is
that was the death of Superman.
Okay.
From 91, I think it was 92, something like that.
Yes.
So I saw it and I kind of laughed and I pointed out. I was like, "How much you selling that for?" And he was like, 12. Like, we thought we were going to be putting our kids through college with that damn thing.
Well, it was the big promise. You know?
Yeah, it was the collector boom. Everybody, they saw all these old comics being sold for like bags of cash.
Oh.
So anybody would, if it was going to be like a slightly big issue, they would come in droves. And when Superman 75 came out, going to Heroes, you could only buy 2.
Oh.
Per person. So I had my girlfriend meet me there. I bought 2. She bought 2.
You're kidding.
I am not kidding.
Why aren't you married to her now?
She realized that this guy's an idiot. So, but yeah,
poor Becky.
It was. Yeah, now she's got to deal with me. It was. Everybody was snapping up anything that had number 1 on it. And at the same time, the Image guys took off and did their own thing, started their own company, which that was a big deal at the time because they pushed back against the way the business was.
Right.
And they just said, okay, we're not going to do this anymore. The things that we create, we're going to keep.
Right. It was like power to the artist. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I think even Prince, right, the musical performer, was in the same boat. It was like, I want to own my masters.
Yep. And that's what he fought against. The same thing. And so they were able. They had the ability, and they had the stroke to go. You know what? We're not doing it your way. We're forming our own company. And now you look at it 20 years later. The company is still around. The company is still viable. And because Marvel and DC can't stop rebooting everything,
right
now Spawn and Savage Dragon are the 2 longest running comics out there.
You're kidding?
Nope.
More than Fantastic Four and Action Comics?
Because they keep rebooting them. Action Comics is now it's on issue 41.
Right.
Detective Comics is on issue 41. Because and that was the thing. The biggest thing that bugged me about the New 52 was the renumbering of the comics.
Of all the titles. Yeah.
Because Action Comics had just crossed 900.
Wow.
It was going to be the first comic to ever reach 1,000.
And it didn't.
And it didn't because they had to reboot everything and renumber it.
What a letdown! That would have been fantastic.
It would have been huge to have 1,000.
Yeah, right.
Issue 1,000.
One title. Yeah, right. With the legacy of all the characters going through Action Comics. Right?
Yeah, and that was the thing. Because they can't stop rebooting everything. Now Spawn's at 252.
Wow.
And I think Savage Dragon's at 254.
Because they came out about the same time, right? Within months of each other.
They were in the first wave of the Image comics.
It was Eric Larson and Todd McFarlane, right? Right, I remember Savage Dragon's Chicago policeman, but a dragon dude, right?
Yeah, he's got this giant fin on his
head.
And actually now the lead of the series is his son, Malcolm. He's for lack of a better, I'm sure he had a name, but Savage Dragon is depowered. He's in jail.
Wow.
I just picked up reading it because it was ramping up towards the 250.
Okay.
So I picked up a couple of issues and I've kind of gotten into it. But his dad, Malcolm's dad, Savage Dragon, he's been in jail, and because he hasn't used his powers, he's gotten smaller. So now he's just like this skinny guy whose skin is green and he's got a fin on his head. But he's not nearly the size that he used to be. But Malcolm helps fight. He fights crime. He helps out the police department anytime they need it. But he's a high school student.
Oh, so the teen. They're sort of like, because there was never that teen level in Image. It was always older characters or really old, right? There was never that Teen Titans or New Mutants underling kind of group. That's interesting. Wow, I haven't touched Savage Dragon in ages.
Well, I never actually read it when it first came out, and actually, this past weekend at Comic-Con, I saw, and I thought about getting it. It was like the first 5 issues bundled together.
Huh.
It was only like $6.
Of the original.
Yeah.
Yeah, Image is getting real good at that, where they're bundling not just like a bunch of issues in a row, but all their number ones or anything around a theme. So it's called Image Firsts, and they just did one. I picked it up in January, and that's where I read the first issue of Southern Bastards, Jason Latour, right? Spider-Gwen guy we mentioned. That's his title. That's killer. But there's a few others in there that are really good, and it's like I think it's a really smart way to get people into a range of titles, you know. Yeah,
well, this wasn't a trade paper. This was the actual comics that a vendor had bundled together.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you. It was
like with glue?
No. It was like he had taped the Mylar bags together.
Oh, I see. So you
and
bought
he was
them.
selling them as the first 5 issues for I think $6.
Wow.
So those are the ones that we ran out to try and buy to send our kids through college. And now selling for $6.
I really thought, man, the glossy paper and the reflector covers and the foil and all that dumb stuff, man.
Every gimmick they could come up with to do on a cover. They had hologram covers. They had Robin had a couple of miniseries before they started his regular series.
Yeah, and the Robin miniseries, I remember.
Escalatingly stupid cover tricks. Like the first one was.
I'm gonna look this up. Wait.
The first, I don't think the first series went went crazy, but then the second Robin miniseries had hologram. Hologram covers.
The Joker card. I'm looking at it right now. Yeah. Robin 2.
Yeah, Robin 2 had the hologram cards, and then Robin 3 had like the. I don't even know what they're called, but you pull the thing out the bottom, and it's like a little window effect.
Oh, like the Led Zeppelin records.
Yeah, it would change,
like sort of pop-up book style.
Yeah, it would change the image on the cover as you pulled the thing out the bottom. So it was just more and more ludicrous as it went, and then you had everything was full and embossed, and it was, and then you would bag it, and you like Superman 75. It was bagged. It had a black armband.
Right.
Like, so you could mourn Superman. You could wear the
as
armband.
A community, yes.
Had a poster, and I don't remember what all was it. It was just a bunch of stupid crap. And that was the thing. You would buy 2. You would open one bag and then leave one so you could read it and look at what was inside it. And then the other one you never opened because that was the one that's going to be worth the money.
Totally. That's the college, right?
The college
education right there.
And that's exactly what they're selling for $12 now.
Right, it's like they're paying you to take it out of that place. It's unbelievable. Well, it's a good point. There's been so many like histories of gimmicks with comics. I think to get you to buy the next. I appreciate at least them sort of going into this. Well, now like books are $5, and like it's that gloss. They're a little heavier.
Yeah.
But I'm very conscious. It's like when I buy beer, I want to make sure I'm getting my money's worth. So like I want the read for the dollar amount, to sort of be on par. So I just purchased all of Convergence 0 to 8 or 9 or whatever, and some of them are different prices. I was a little surprised. Some are $4.99, $5.99, depending on I guess the page count.
Yeah, and that's Convergence is something we're going to get into when we get to the comic rack a little later, but because I've got some venting to do on that.
Well, I'll support you.
But there was another thing that this past weekend I went to. Vendor just had the $1 box, and I'm looking for stuff, just random old comics. I want to start making some art projects with it. So I was just looking for some old stuff, and so he had like the $1 box, and nothing's bagged or nothing. So I start flipping through them, and you get that newsprint smell.
Oh, the smell.
And I was like, oh. And I took one out and I put it under my daughter's nose. I said, just smell that. Just smell that.
It doesn't exist anymore.
Man, if I could bottle that stuff, because you don't get that anymore. You don't get that smell from the glossy pages anymore.
Yeah.
And it used that like when you open the door to a comic book shop.
Oh, it had that.
That was the smell. Yeah, the dank newsprint smell. That was just like, oh yeah. I'm home.
Oh man, I think you might have hit on something, Tim. A cologne for guys our age.
Vintage comic.
Yeah, right. Like Drakkar Noir, but yeah.
I could do that. I could sell that. Well, okay, we're going to take a break right now, and then coming up after that, we're going to talk about the movie and TV news that are coming up.
Ranger Station, Ranger speaking.
Hi. I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
Well, before I left my campsite, I was putting out my fire, and out of nowhere, Smokey Bear showed up and hugged me?
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. He likes it when people correctly put out their campfires. He's pretty big on wildfire prevention. He's just letting you know you did good with a hug. He's a hugger.
I just got a bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update!
All right, I'm going to let you go now. I've got a lot of ranger stuff to do. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
The Ninja Troll Digicast. Put that shit on everything.
They had me at 15 seconds.
They had you before they ever posted it.
Yeah, they did.
What had you? Tell us what had you.
This whole series, man. This whole series. Now,
I'm trying to get you to say Daredevil coming on Netflix.
Oh, well, I was
Not
getting
everybody hears all the stuff that's rattling around inside your head. You have to verbalize these things.
The only podcast with a kick. This is the Ninja Troll Digicast.
All right, welcome back to the Ninja Troll Digicast. Again, I am Tim. I'm here with Professor Pixel, Mike.
Hey.
And we're going to talk about a little movie and TV news. Unfortunately, the first thing to start everything off, it's TV news, but it's bad news. Constantine is officially dead now.
Oh.
They tried for a while to find a new home for it after NBC canceled it, but executive producer Daniel Cerrone has now, I think he tweeted out that the crew has been released from their contracts, and it's officially dead now. I figured Sci-Fi at least would pick that up, but it may be too expensive of a production for them.
Are you sad about this, Timmy? Are you a Constantine fan?
I never watched it. I tried the first episode, but I never really got into it. So I'm sad that a comic project is not on TV now.
Yes.
It wasn't my cup of tea, but anything well done TV shows based on comic books and well done movies based on comic books is what we need. So, because, we've talked about this before on the show. At some point, we're afraid the bubble's going to burst. And the thing that's going to keep the bubble from bursting is if the projects are quality.
Right.
And so, well done shows are what we need. And it seemed to be, it wasn't my cup of tea, but it seemed well done. And I would figure it would be your cup of tea, though.
Well, I'm with you. I watched the first episode to give it a shot because I had known Constantine from Vertigo universe, right? So he was cool like that. But I watch Arrow, and that's a pretty violent show. I felt Constantine was ultra violent. Yeah, it was like immediately it was gun sounds and stuff, and I was sort of waiting to get into the story, and I was a little overwhelmed by that. But you know what? I think you're right. I think another way to keep this bubble from bursting is to have a couple of sort of lost leaders, right? Is to have those end-of-the-aisle products that are going to be shiny and fancy but not last forever.
Yeah.
So I think, I think Agent Carter might be making that list.
Well, she's back for a second season.
Oh, fantastic. Okay.
Yeah.
I was really happy about that show, but I know it didn't quite grab. Are there any others that are sort of had high hopes and are slowly sparkling and fading show-wise?
I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a hit and miss kind of thing. Some people liked the first season but didn't like the second. Some people liked the first but or didn't like the first and liked the second. So it's kind of all over the map. This isn't through not wanting to watch it. But I still have the last 4 episodes of this season on the DVR and haven't watched them just because time constraints. Like there's only so many hours in the week. and it was on the same night as Flash, and we're watching Flash live.
Right.
The entire family is into that, and that's something I want to encourage. Like I said, my daughter is getting into comics through this, and she's cranked up and is upset now because she has to wait like 4 months until the new season starts.
I'm with you.
Yeah. So and so much so that I have the original, like the 90s Flash TV show with John Wesley Shipp playing Flash. I have that on DVD. She wants to watch that this summer.
Oh, great.
Okay. And I warned her, the pilot is good.
Yes.
Then it went downhill from there because they kept trying. They weren't getting the ratings they wanted, so they kept trying different things, and it got campier and campier towards the end of the run. But towards the end of the run, actually, you get like I think 3 episodes with Mark Hamill as the Trickster.
Oh, as Trickster, right? Who he came back.
He came back in this new show as the Trickster, and it's just, I mean, I swear anything Mark Hamill does is just absolutely awesome. I mean,
Wing Commander, the game from the 90s, right?
His voice work has been stellar because as far as I'm concerned, the quintessential Joker is Mark Hamill. I know it's just a voice performance,
right?
But that voice alone, it to me nails it. The voice and laugh from animated series, and he went on to do the Arkham series of games.
Right.
Which did he do the third? Is he doing the third one?
I assume so.
I thought he had said he was retiring from doing it. If sometime you're on the internet and you've got time to burn, go to YouTube and find Mark Hamill at some panel somewhere where he was taking questions from the audience, and somebody asked him to have a conversation between Luke Skywalker and the Joker. And he sat there and went back and forth as the two characters. It's flipping awesome. It's just absolutely awesome.
I mean, if he wasn't Mark Hamill, that's borderline psychotic.
Oh yeah.
Like,
and it's kind of weird to watch him because he hunches down a little bit when he does the Joker, but then he pops up and he's doing the whole "I'm your father" thing with the Joker saying that. And it's awesome.
That's awesome.
You have to find it and watch it.
I'm totally looking that up. To confirm what you said, Mark Hamill is not going to be the Joker. So for Arkham Knight, the latest game that's coming out, he won't be the part. But I wonder, I mean, you notice that. I mean, because the Joker's been such a central character, he's going to be very much missing. I don't know who they're going to sort of sub in.
I don't know.
Did he do Batman and Beyond Joker as well?
Yeah.
And then I know that I don't know if the Joker's made an appearance before on like the other shows, like Justice League Unlimited, and Young Justice.
He did
perhaps.
those too. Yeah,
so
he did those too. So the run of high quality DC animation that they've done, he's been the voice of the Joker for the longest time. When you think about it, that animated series started in the early '93. So he's been doing the voice of the Joker for 20 years now. So,
and to not have it on that last game, which is supposed to be the biggest game, I wonder
what.
The
second one. I'm sad. I finished the first one and just never got the second one.
Yeah, I mean he did Arkham City Lockdown, Arkham City, Brave and the Bold. He was on. Yeah. Oh wow, he was the Spectre on Brave and the Bold. Randomly,
I didn't know that.
And then Arkham Asylum. Yeah, and then he was on The Batman, which was that other series with the big ears, right?
Didn't last long.
Let's see. Yeah, he was in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, so he's been doing the voice of the Joker for, like I said, for 20 years. So actually retiring from doing it is a big deal.
Wow, randomly here. The Batman Superman movie, World's Finest, in 1997, he was the Joker there. So he's got it. Well, actually, no, sorry. That's 97, not 87. Math major over here.
Yeah. But if you watch the Flash TV show and him as the Trickster, the Flash live action show was about a year before the Batman the animated series came out. So the trickster on the Flash is him kind of nailing down the Joker performance.
Yes.
You can tell, like, as he goes through, like I said, he's on like 3 different episodes, and he gets more Joker-like as he goes, and so you can tell he's nailing down that character, and it's like at the end, it's almost full-on Joker.
Well, his in-cell performance, right, before you see his face in New Flash, right, when Barry's interrogating him or interviewing him, you kind of see his like a little bit of his face, and he sort of acts very Joker-like.
Oh
right,
yeah, absolutely, yeah. But that was a hell of a tangent coming off of Constantine. To get
so Constantine's dead. They're not going to renew this
dead,
series.
Yeah, that's officially dead now. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I know this is going to be close to your heart. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's still working on the Sandman adaptation.
I heard.
But he says the process is slow but steady. Is what he has said.
Well, it was such a huge story.
And that's exactly what he's saying. It's such a huge story to tell. It's not just they're not able to just pick out like the Civil War story and just do that one. It's such a long-ranging thing,
right?
That it's such a big thing to do that they're taking it slow to make sure they do it right. And that's the thing, because he is such a fan, you have a lot of faith in him to put out a good product.
Well, he's got the pressure of like Watchmen behind him, which is, I would argue, one of the best adaptations of sort of panel to screen. So like, I think like, they got that pretty right. I mean, you can almost hold the comic up and get the verbatim stuff. I mean, there's some things you can't obviously do. But man, there's one big story arc in Sandman, and then there's like 100 mini arcs.
Yeah.
So I suppose, what would they pick and choose
exactly
to make a good movie?
Exactly. Yeah, and there will be no punching.
In Sandman?
Yes.
All right.
Per orders from Neil Gaiman. No punching.
I guess that's kind of true.
Right, and exactly, that's the thing. He actually said that in the interview that he did. He said, Neil Gaiman told him that, and he went, they don't.
There's very little fighting.
There's no fighting. It's very cerebral work, and so that's. I mean, it's something that you kind of have to. And if the man says it, you got to do it.
Amen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the movie The Martian?
The Martian. I have not.
It was a book that came out in 2011.
Okay.
It was actually self-published.
Nice.
By and I've completely forgotten his name now. It was one of the best books I've read in years.
Andy Weir.
Thank you. Thank you, Google.
Yes, I googled.
You got to Google that stuff.
I see. Wow, this looks interesting.
It was one of the best books that I've read in years. He actually started writing it and posting it on his website, free for everybody to read.
You're kidding.
And then he started putting it together and actually self-published it, and it became a bestseller.
Wow.
And the story is there's a mission to Mars, and a sandstorm comes up. And it gets so bad that they have to bug out. They have to get on the ship and launch. And in the process of getting everybody in there, one of the astronauts gets knocked out. They think he's dead, and they try to make sure, see if they can find him. They can't find him. They have to assume he's dead. He's not answering. His life signs, like the sensors in his suit, go offline, so they think he's dead, and they leave. He's not dead.
Oh wow!
So he has to figure out, and he's a scientist. He knows that this habitat is designed to last for 6 people for 30 days. It's going to last a little longer because there's only one of him.
Right.
But it's still not going to last 4 years, which is what it would take to get a mission.
Oh,
there.
Man. Wow, what a great premise.
And it's built on real science that we have today. I mean, there's an element of science fiction because they're on Mars.
Sure.
But he doesn't use any kind of
future tech.
Yeah, no,
sort
there's
of.
no kind of, everything is stuff that we would have today. He learns how to grow potatoes in his,
Martian potatoes.
Yeah, he makes the habitat into a greenhouse, basically. He puts dirt all over the floor so he can grow potatoes. He eats nothing but potatoes for a long time.
Damn.
But Matt Damon is playing him in the movie. The trailer looks absolutely awesome. If I wasn't already excited about this movie, now after seeing the trailer, it looks really, really good. And they've also released a I guess for lack of a better term, like a little sneak peek. But they're getting ready to launch from Earth, and he records a video to like post online of meeting the crew and everything. So this clip that they released is as if they've released this clip, and
so it's not footage. It's
and they've embedded like a Twitter feed in there, like as he's doing this live streaming this video, meeting the crew and everybody. There's people's tweets,
reactions.
So there's a lot of stuff going on. So you have to watch that. Like I don't know. Hopefully not. The movie is not completely like this,
right?
Because there was like 4 different things going on screen. So you want to watch, Matt Damon's performance and the rest of the actors as he's introducing them. But then you got these tweets down here that are kind of funny, and then they're throwing up fun facts over here. So it's a little bit of a overload, but you get to meet all the different actors. And I'm really, really looking forward to this. And it takes something to get me into a theater.
Right. I mean, there's all that cost, all the hassle.
So damn expensive.
Yeah, right. I mean, you might as well wait for it to come out.
Yeah.
For the same experience in your house.
But this I am going to see.
Awesome.
So.
Will it be an IMAX? It sounds like an IMAX movie kind of thing.
It should be. Yeah,
big sets, and I'm looking here online. There's actually a map
of his trip.
The Watney Traverse from The Martian by Andy Weir, and it shows like really on Mars where this takes place. So
he has to communicate with Earth. He has to go find the old Pathfinder and get the transmitter off of it.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
So he has to go find the Pathfinder, get the transmitter off of it, get it back to the habitat so that he can broadcast to communicate with NASA.
Man.
So like I said, it's all based on real, and actually in the trailer, he's recording this basically like captain's log kind of thing. And he says, I've got to live in this habitat that's designed to last for 30 days. I've got to last here for 4 years. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to have to science the blank out of it.
Yeah.
And so that's what really appealed to me about the book is, like I said, he didn't take any shortcuts.
Right.
And that is one thing that bugs me, and that's the thing that truly bugs me about Superman killing Zod in Man of Steel.
Here we go.
It was a cop out by the writers.
In what way?
There was other ways they could have solved that issue.
No Phantom Zone projector.
But the easy way out was he just snaps his neck.
Right.
And they took the easy way out. And this guy was Andrew Weir. Was that it?
Andy
Weir didn't take the easy way out. He didn't come up with some future text and go, oh, well, we've got potatoes that grow with very little water.
Right.
He made himself
figure out
the
hard
everything.
way.
Yeah, he made himself do it the hard way, and that's what I appreciate.
Well, cool.
So I'm really looking forward to that movie. That opens in November 25th.
Awesome. So right, Thanksgiving, and then boom.
Yeah,
Martian.
eat some turkey and then watch a guy eat potatoes for 2 hours.
And then not eat the potatoes in leftovers.
Yeah. You got to stay away from the potatoes then.
Well, that sounds fantastic, Tim. I mean, I think you did an excellent job of selling it here, and you're right. I mean, to get you excited about a story like this, I mean, you're a writer, right? You're a fan. That's major, and I think I'm most excited that this was such a homegrown project.
Yeah, the guy, he didn't really look at it as, hey, I'm going to write a book. He was writing some stuff, posted it on his website, and just after a while, he didn't think anybody would really want to read it. And people were going, okay, when are you posting the next? When are you posting the next?
Oh, that's great.
And so he would, he started doing that, and then he was like, people were asking me to put it together as a book. He was like, yeah, all right, whatever. And then it blew up.
That's awesome.
Really blew up and turned into a bestseller. And now
November 25th.
movie rights, and it's like I think I don't know who's directing. Is it?
Let's see. Here.
I mean, Matt Damon's in it, so it's a big deal. But I'm not sure who is directing.
The Martian.
I think
Ridley Scott.
Wow.
The ultimate science fiction. Yeah.
It doesn't get bigger than that for science fiction.
No aliens in this one, I'm sure, but
No, he won't find any kind of. He better not find any like hidden Martian society or anything like that.
Right, or like the Russians were there first.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, did you see like Apollo 18?
No, that was the horror movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where like there was like the lost mission to the moon that like they never spoke about because an alien ate the people and
good Lord,
stuff.
no.
And
See,
yeah,
you've already said enough to make me go. No, so I'll pass on that.
I gotta tell you, it looked really intriguing. Like I like space exploration, this sort of new thing. Like I haven't seen yet the Matthew McConaughey movie, Interstellar.
Yeah.
Right. But we're in this sort of genre, and I hope this doesn't get sucked into that of like sort of these like post space age psychological thrillers where like that notion of getting out there, can we make it? You know, kind of thing, and what will eat us?
What will eat us? Yeah, that's the big. Yeah, you just mentioned Matthew McConaughey that the
Lincoln commercials. Did you see the spoofs?
Drives my wife nuts. Now I haven't seen any spoofs.
Just YouTube Lincoln commercial spoofs. They're hilarious.
She hates that commercial so bad.
Oh, I know. It's like, come on, dude.
Writer Brian Michael Bendis, who is the guy who invented Miles Morales.
Cool.
And wrote Ultimate Spider-Man before Peter died in the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah.
He may have let slip that confirmation that Spider-Man will be in Captain America: Civil War.
Ooh.
At the special event NYC, which is going on actually right now in New York. They had a panel, and he kind of offhandedly he was talking about people who were upset that Spider-Man was in some Avengers thing, and he was saying, oh, yeah, the same people are upset about that, or the people that are that will be upset because he's in Civil War. And like he looked at somebody else on the panel, and
they were like, no,
they just went, dude. So yeah, he tweeted something that he was using that as a for instance. But quite frankly, if you've read Civil War and Spider-Man is not in the movie,
where is the story?
Exactly.
It's
he's such a linchpin of that story. He better be in the damn movie.
Totally right. I mean,
it
splits the heroes in a major way, right? Being out or being.
He was a big deal because he came out and said, "Hey, I'm Peter Parker." He told everybody who he was.
And he aligned with Tony, right? Because Tony's out. Or who is it
he
that
wanted
wants to
be
keep identity? I forget now.
Cap
is known.
Cap wanted to keep the secret identities.
Oh, was he not known?
It was Tony that wanted to register.
Right, because everybody knew him.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knew who Cap was, but he was fighting to go. Okay, they shouldn't have to
be
come
outed.
Out. Yeah, they shouldn't have to be outed. So yeah, Tony was the one that was saying everybody should register with the government, and everybody should have to reveal
nothing
their
to fear.
identities.
Yeah, right. It's like we should give up our privacy.
Yeah,
nothing to fear. We're not good.
In the comic book, it turned out that wasn't Tony; it was a Skrull.
Right.
So I don't know if they're going to go into that.
I don't know. That's in the Fantastic Four, right?
That's a huge deal.
Is it true? Maybe we can piece this together. Is it true that one of the new Spider-Mans will be called the Next Avenger? Is that true? I heard that rumor.
I haven't heard that rumor.
I saw it pop up on Facebook. I want to make sure I'm not crazy because like everything on Facebook is true.
Of course it's true.
Let's see. The Next Avenger. I totally heard that like now that they said
he's in. I mean, well,
this is on Screen Rant. They have
he never was actually
rumor.
Yeah, rumor.
Yeah.
I don't think Spider-Man's ever actually been an active roster Avenger. I think he's been.
He was for a one mission, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he's been like a reserve member. They would call him if they needed him, but I don't think he's ever been an actual, active roster Avenger.
Well, it says he was offered official membership in the Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 3. But not officially.
Yeah. Yes, I don't think he's ever actually been a part of the Avengers team.
It was back in '66. He did not join the group.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, He was actually part of the Fantastic Four, or the Future
Yeah.
Foundation, is what they called it at the time. But that's kind of weird. I tried reading because I know they're getting close to the end of the Fantastic Four series. I tried to pick up a couple to read, and it's so weird now because they've got a school, and they've got their kids who, the Fantastic Four wear the suits with the 4 on them.
Oh, like
Then
Franklin. Richards.
Franklin has a suit that has 5 on it, and Valerie, who's the other kid, has 6, and then they have a school, so they're like 7 through 15, and I was like, okay, who are these people? I don't know. I can't. It's hard to drop into a series like that.
When everything's changed so much.
Yeah,
Right.
I have absolutely no idea what's going on here. But there's a bunch of kids in there that they're teaching, and one of them is like, it looks alien, like full on alien. So I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't touched Fantastic Four in a long time.
Yeah.
But I wonder if there's going to be that crossover, like because there has been some confirmation that Sony will allow Spider-Man to venture,
Yes.
whether they release him or loan him.
Yeah, it's set now to where Sony will continue to produce solo Spider-Man movies.
Yes.
But he will be able to appear in Marvel. Marvel won't be able to do like a full-on Spider-Man movie.
Right.
That will be Sony's deal now, or still. But he can appear in like Infinity War and Civil War and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or he could make a cameo in like Thor or something like that.
Right.
That can't happen now. But if it's a solo Spider-Man movie, it's still
Sony exclusive.
Sony, owns that.
Interesting.
On the set of the Suicide Squad, who has the worst security ever.
Yeah, right. It's like
everything
every
has
day.
leaked. Every day is like, leaked from the Suicide Squad. Yeah, okay. Like Paul Blart is their head of security or something. This guy's a buffoon. But apparently Jared Leto is very method in his Joker.
Oh, he's scaring everybody.
He's scaring.
Right?
Nobody wants to go talk to him,
right?
Because they don't want to break the concentration. So I've seen a lot, like I said, like every day it seems like there's a leak from the Suicide Squad set. He looks good. I mean, it's different. It's definitely different, and a lot of people complain when they saw the pictures. They first saw the pictures with the tattoos and all
and the
that.
Teeth and the.
But the teeth, the meth mouth or whatever. I don't know. I don't know if those are like.
You look like Jaws. You look like Jaws from
Jaws.
From James Bond, right?
So I'm not sure exactly what is up with the teeth. Whether those are like fake teeth or I don't know. But I mean, everybody was pissed off when Heath Ledger, the gay cowboy, is going to be Joker.
Yeah.
And now.
But he's legendary Joker.
Yeah, he's legendary.
Changed the whole role.
So I mean, I just I'll wait for it and see him, and if it's not good, then it's just not good. I mean, there's no reason to get all crazy about it now. Same thing with Ben Affleck as Batman. There's no reason to get crazy about it because I remember in 1988 when they announced Michael Keaton was going to be
Mr. Mom.
Yeah, Mr. Mom is going to be Batman. Everybody was like, "Oh, that's crazy." Now you have people going, "Oh, I wish Michael Keaton to do it again."
Yeah.
And even at his age, they still want him to do it. But just calm down, wait for it to come out, and see how he does. Because I mean, and damn it, don't mention Daredevil.
I'm one of the few people who like that movie.
It had problems. It had a lot of problems. Ben Affleck was one of probably 2025.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as horrible as everybody makes it out to be.
Right.
It's not the Netflix series. I mean, Netflix series is awesome.
So good.
Absolutely awesome.
But that point, I mean, I think like having preconceptions, sort of like shutting down projects before they even start. I wonder if it's adding to this leak culture where like we got to have these things because speculation can ruin the release of a movie. If everybody's like, oh, Joker, I hate it. But then, like, if they can control that with little tidbits here and there, I mean, like, the Will Smith Deadshot helmet is
it looks really
awesome.
good. Yeah.
I mean, you look at the Deadshot in Arrow, right, and then you look at him now, and even like I'm in Arkham City, Deadshot's a pretty prevalent character. I mean, they're just he kind of looks like Jason and Deadshot. Like if Jason had a gun instead of a machete.
Yeah, it looks really good. And Will Smith is really. I'm surprised that it's not like a name brand character.
Right.
So I was
Why'd
surprised.
he choose it?
Yeah, I was surprised when he first signed on to do it. But he looks like he's going all in. I just hope that he does it as serious instead of like the usual Will Smith throw in a joke every once in a while.
Right. What was that apocalyptic movie he was in where he was like the last man?
I Am Legend.
I Am Legend, right? It was like quiet, very sort of contemplative, melancholy. What are we going to do? He sort of failed. And then he would something funny would happen. And it would be like
a funny joke. Yeah.
All right.
Although, I mean, don't get me wrong. Will Smith is a hell of a dramatic actor and can act
but was a
his
comedian,
ass off.
right?
But he
in
was
the
a
beginning,
comedian,
and a rapper, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
and like Hancock,
I see that. Yeah.
He's basically an alcoholic, homeless superhero.
Cool.
He's got like the powers of Superman, but he just doesn't give a crap anymore, and he drinks constantly. And a marketing guy comes along and says, "We can rebuild your image. First thing you have to do is go to jail." I say, "Okay, I've done property damage here and there," and then it's a good story, but he goes to jail, and of course somebody's going to try to
shank him.
Yeah, he's going to try to kick his ass.
Yeah.
So you then have a scene where he tells a guy he's going to stick his head up another guy's rump.
Yeah.
And then he does it. Is that okay? It's just a wrong place for. I mean, it was a serious thing going on. And and then they throw in a joke like that. It just kind of
breaks everything. Yeah, the intensity.
Yeah, and I mean, it was just. And I hope that they don't do that. I hope that they stick with the straight dramatic presentation.
Well, I think they're gonna, because I mean, you look like the Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
She looks
really
amazing.
Good,
yeah. And there was a mention of her in Arrow.
Yeah.
You hear her voice.
And it was the lady who did the voice from the
animated series.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Great.
That thick Jersey accent. And I haven't heard. Is it Margot Robbie? Is that her name?
I forget her name. Yeah, who's playing the new Harley?
Yeah. So I'll be interested to hear her voice.
Margot Robbie. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Harley to me has such a thick Jersey accent. Because I know her from the animated series. It'll be interesting to hear. But yeah, in Arrow, if there's a point where they're in some prison when the Suicide Squad's getting formed. You hear her off to the side,
right, saying, "What about me?"
Yeah, what about me? Yeah.
So, quick, real Tim, what's the sort of origin story of the Suicide Squad, right? Because I'm getting into that. I'm watching Arrow. Like John Diggle, right, is sort of, he sort of coins, well, this is a Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
so government agency.
Exactly.
Yeah, go ahead.
It was kind of it was put together as the dirty things that the Justice League doesn't want to do.
Yes.
And that is exactly how it's put out in Arrow. You're going to do this, and the way we know you're going to keep in line is we're going to kill you if you don't do it. But if you do it, we're going to you release your sentence. We'll let you out.
So they fight for freedom.
Yeah.
Their own freedom. Yeah.
Their own freedom. Yeah. And it was, I think it was, when it was.
Yeah, I think they were on that
created
ship. Oh, the Suicide Squad is old, right? It's Silver Age. Right?
Yeah, it was Silver Age. It was originally known as Task Force X.
Okay. I like Suicide
59.
Squad. 59.
Yes.
So that's not silver. That's golden, right?
No. 57 was
It's Golden.
Silver
the
Age.
end. Okay.
Yeah. First version debuted in Brave and the Bold, number 25 in 1959. Then the second in 1987. Oh, and Legends. It was a mini series called Legends, and Waller put together this group. Like I said, they needed to do
the sort of the rough and tough.
Yeah,
jobs.
actually in Legends, Darkseid's minions had turned humanity against Earth superheroes, so they needed somebody to get the job done. But kind of under the radar. So she put together. That's right. I remember that now.
Because they show, I'm looking here at a recent cover, 2014, the new Suicide Squad. Was Black Manta always in the Suicide Squad?
No. I think originally it was, if I can find the list of...
Raven the Bold, 25.
The original, I think, was Bronze Tiger. Yeah, I don't see Black Manta on here at all. No, this is Amanda Waller's squad. Yeah, it's been kind of a thing that they've kind of had a rotating group, and they could bring in people whenever they needed to. Yeah, there's been several different versions. Waller, of course, Amanda Waller is always the main one, but Boomerang, Captain Boomerang, Deadshot. At one point, James Gordon Jr.
Oh wow.
He's actually, if you follow the Batman mythos, Little Jim, as they called him, becomes a serial killer.
You kidding?
No.
This is Barbara's little brother.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, here's the new, in 2014, the new Suicide Squad was Black Manta. I think that's the first time he's been in there. Joker's daughter. And I know they're getting ready to...
Enchantress and Blockbuster.
Yeah, they're getting ready to change around we actually did a story a couple months ago. They're slowly changing out the membership to get some higher profile
characters
into it. And get a little more, like they're putting Reverse Flash in there. Harley Quinn is in there. Joker's daughter, which is a weird character.
Wow.
She believes that she is the Joker's daughter, although there's no proof of it. And when in the comics, when he cut his face off for like a year, he went around with no face. She stole his face and was wearing it.
Nasty.
This chick is whack.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's going to be an interesting movie. I'm looking forward to it. I'm interested in what they do with the Joker and how much he's in it, because he's not actually part of the Suicide Squad. He's just, I think maybe that's part of like when they go get Harley, or maybe that's how she ends up in jail.
Maybe they show the break. Right,
because
Harley
they have,
goes on her own.
Batman was on set. I don't know if it was.
I heard.
Affleck,
they did a
playing
chase.
Him.
Right.
They did a chase scene, so I'm thinking maybe that's where they show her getting captured, and that's how she ends up in jail, and that's how she ends up part of the Suicide Squad.
Well, that's always a common story, right? It's Harley. Joker ignores Harley. She gets mad, like teams up with somebody, and then comes back, and it's sort of always the
Puddin'.
Poison Ivy. Yeah. Puddin'. Mr. J. Yeah.
So yeah, that should be very interesting. I'm interested to see his Joker portrayal, but like I said, everybody gets upset about all these different things, and it's like, just go with it, see if it's good. If it's good, like it. If not, don't. And it's just the way you got to look at. The way I look at all TV shows or movies that are based on comics, I look at it as this is an alternate universe.
Yeah.
This is a part of the multiverse.
Right.
In this one, Perry White is a black guy.
Right.
Just go with it. See if it's good.
Like Shakespeare, right? You're going to get 100 versions of, of these different things, and like if you understand the core mythos, and then you can sort of entertain the play on those mythos for a new audience, for a new screen,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a new adaptation, I should say. And then I think that just enhances the whole experience, right? Because then it folds back in, right?
Yep.
Like, I mean, think about like, you know, how these little so Mark Hamill's take on the Joker shifted the way that character was perceived, and now it has legacy that goes into now. You can't not acknowledge him, right?
Yeah.
Or Cesar Romero, right?
Yeah.
Or
with the pancake makeup over his mustache.
over his mustache.
I love that.
Right, he refused to do it, which is
Hey,
awesome.
he was a Latin man. He was not shaving that mustache.
No,
That's important stuff.
that's like Samson. You know,
That's right.
You can't take his hair off. Yeah.
Something else has come out that I read today that I'm 100% behind. Michael Dorn, who played Worf on Star Trek: The Next Generation, he wants to see a Worf TV show, and by God, I say make it happen.
Well, man, we are so in need of a new start. I mean, what Enterprise was the last one.
Yes.
And that ended in 4?
Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah.
I mean, where? Yeah.
I think the Star Trek concept works better as a TV show.
Totally. 'Cause you
So
can do
I
whatever
think-
you want.
Yeah, I think it needs to be back on TV, and I've always wanted to see a show based on Klingons.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
I love the Klingons because they're
near or not near Uranus. I mean,
well,
that's,
of
right,
course,
to
they're
channel our
always near
buddy.
Uranus.
They're right, cloaked.
That's right. Sometimes better than others, but yeah, it was some
That'd be
interview.
phenomenal.
Yeah, it was some interview. Somebody asked him, and he said that he would love to have a show based around Worf, and I think that would be a phenomenal idea because he was a very interesting, even inside the Star Trek universe. His was a very interesting character.
I mean, mix, right? Or no, he was a Klingon raised by humans.
Raised by humans.
And then he traversed shows. He went from Next Gen to Deep Space Nine.
Yep.
Yeah, which was fantastic. And then the female Klingon for Voyager was like almost. I forget her name. No, not Kira.
I don't
see
know.
her face.
I watched about total like 2 episodes of Voyager.
Oh, I did it to the end, and I'm a bad trekker here. But she was very much based on Worf. Like she sort of had that sort of. She served that role.
She was half Klingon, half Romulan, I think. So she was also like an outcast.
She was human and Klingon.
Human and Klingon. Okay.
Yeah, B'Elanna Torres.
Okay.
Yeah, Roxanne Dawson was the.
Yeah,
the
so
actor.
she had the same kind of, because he always had the outsider, he didn't really fit in the Federation,
right?
But the Klingons looked at him as
a
he
total
was,
outcast.
Not only was he was raised by humans, his family was dishonored.
Right.
And
his
so,
father, right, has all this dishonor that he has to always own.
Son of Moog.
Yeah, right.
So he had to reestablish the honor of his family.
Right.
And it was a great story arc to see that as it went to do that and gain back that, and you have a society that's so based on honor. I always loved that concept. I loved the Klingon. Anytime the Klingons were on the show, I just absolutely loved it. So even original series and Next Generation both, I loved them on both because they were so stringent and so honor bound.
And I loved Worf's son, right, Alexander.
Alexander, yeah.
And they didn't bring him onto DS9, I don't think.
No, I think he supposedly went to live with his mother. Or no, his mother passed away, didn't she?
Yeah, I think she.
That's why he came onto the Enterprise.
Right, and then he was even like punking his dad, saying like, "Well, you're not a real Klingon.
Yeah.
You don't know, like, because he was born on Klingon, or I guess Kronos, right, is their planet.
Yeah.
And then I think sort of threw a wrench in his, because Worf had to be a dad and then a Klingon and then a human and then sort of enlightened him to say, well, it's violence isn't always the way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely, like when you think you had a bead on Worf, they threw that in to kind of change up how he looked at himself. So it was very interesting, and I'd love to see, like, since DS9 is over with, what he's done, where he's been, because I love that him on DS9.
Worf or the son?
Worf.
Okay, because I just found the son was arrested for,
Nice.
looks like possession of something.
Nice.
A second-degree assault and false imprisonment.
He's a Klingon.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he's not doing too good.
Yikes.
But Michael Dorn, right?
Yeah, Michael Dorn's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he does. If you'll listen, he does a lot of voice work.
Huh.
If you he's done a couple, I think, animated things. It's just every once in a while I hear it, and I go, "Oh, hey, that's Michael Dorn."
Yeah.
I think he. I'm trying to remember what it was. I saw him. He had done voice work for.
Yeah, it's listed here as a voice actor. Star Trek: The Captain's Chair.
That's
another one, another Star Trek thing.
Yeah, it's like a special documentary kind of thing. They got everybody who had kind of played
a captain. Yeah.
Shatner got everybody together. And
looks like Bionicle he did. Yeah, The Legend
something
Reborn.
else.
Straight to DVD.
I don't think that was it. It was something else I thought that I'd...
Kim Possible. He did the Spider-Man. He was Craven.
Oh, okay.
The Hunter on the
probably
new
what it
animated
was.
series.
I remember watching something and hearing the voice and go, wait, I know that voice. Because it's a very distinctive voice.
And then, of course, he's been on Family Guy for all the Star Trek and stuff they've done.
Never have gotten into Family Guy.
Peter's Got Woods is the episode.
Yikes.
He plays Lieutenant Worf. And then he plays himself. Not all dogs go to... Well, he's got quite the... Oh. And Regular Show. He's on Regular Show now. The cartoon on Cartoon Network with that Blue Jay and the...
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, and Young Justice he did a little bit too.
Yeah, Young Justice. Who did he do on Young Justice?
Kalabak.
That's
who that character is.
That was probably the one that I recognized because he because I always watched Young Justice and I hate that it's not on the air anymore. But
yeah, it's on Netflix now. Still, yeah, it's hold on.
Let's see. Is there anything else? Oh yeah, one other thing in movie and TV news.
Yep.
The X-Files revival. Oh, have you heard about that?
I have, and I'm excited.
Yeah, it should be kicking off January 2016, and they're of course in production now. And the second episode may be a direct sequel to one of the creepiest episodes from the original series. Do you remember Home? Do you remember that episode?
Home
had a weird inbred family. Like I think they were called the Peacock Clan.
Oh Lord, this is going bad. Oh my God, I'm
see,
seeing photos.
You remember them now, don't
God.
you? Yeah. This new episode is called Home Again.
Oh Lord.
And it's written by the same guy. So people are speculating that it's going to be a sequel to this. Which it was a really weird episode. And that's the thing. That was the thing I loved about the X-Files is it could go straight science fiction, crazy conspiracy,
or Appalachian,
guy, or Appalachian, just creepy, weird stuff, or straight horror. I mean, it
or
was
just alien, or spiritual,
or just,
supernatural,
like Monster of the Week kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And it was I'm looking forward to. I believe it's going to be a limited series.
They're calling it a mini-series.
Okay.
And I think I heard you guys talk about this on the show. It'll be a continuation, right, of like it'll be in the future set from the original series?
Yeah, and from the I think they're including the movies as well. Because they did 2 movies.
Right.
So I think they're including them in the mythology as well and continue on after that.
So we'll have cell phones.
Yeah, hopefully.
And the internet.
Yeah, because it would be kind of stupid if you didn't have those things now, but that changes the dynamic of things. There's a whole lot less UFO craziness now,
right?
Because everybody's got a cell phone, so you don't have like I saw this. Well, people would have footage, and then they could analyze the footage and say, okay, that's
fake.
BS.
Yeah.
And throw it
there's
out.
that show Fact or Faked where they study and you like learn how people make this stuff and which I was like, man, that's awesome. I want to do that this weekend.
Exactly. Yeah, I want to make some myself. Yeah. So it's going to change the dynamic of the show. And as the show went on, it changed the dynamic between Mulder and Scully. She came around more to the kind of because he was the full-on conspiracy nut.
And she was the
And
pragmatist.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the more crazy crap that she saw, the more she kind of went over to his side a little bit. But she still went at it from the FBI agent kind of
crime scene
point of view.
science.
Yeah, we need to break this
Proof.
down. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see the dynamic between them. It'll be interesting to see if they introduce new people to continue this on, or whether it's still going to continue to be them.
Right.
Or if it does continue on, because if they're saying it's a miniseries, you never know.
Right. Who knows? I mean, it could be. Well, it went on till 2002. But I wonder, if they're going to start it up. Right? Yeah, the original one is when that ended. So they did have cell phones and things like that.
Kind of, yeah.
The question is, though, did the smoking man die of cancer? And is he going to vape in this series?
Vape.
Because that's his whole mystique. Yeah. That's his whole noir. Like
anything that would make me cut the show off would be him vaping.
Yeah, that would
be the end of it all.
That'd be the ultimate. Yeah. But that's cool. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it should be pretty good. But that is a look at our movie and TV news for this week. Coming up right after this, we're going to take a look at our comic book news in the comic rack.
Hey guys, let's play some video games.
This new dad plays video games with his sons, but the challenge feels like he's lifting a metric ton.
So many buttons.
His avatar just stares at the walls, twists and turns and somehow falls.
Help me!
He's tangled up in the controller's cords.
I just don't understand this crazy digital world.
Crazy, crazy digital world. Zeros and ones. But the love from his kids is totally apparent. Ooh. See, you don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent.
You should have just played catch.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
I'm Cully Hamner, artist of The Question and Red, and you're listening to the Ninja Troll Digicast.
All right, we're back now. The Ninja Troll Digicast with Professor Pixel.
Hey.
Mike Worth. And it's time to take a spin of the comic rack.
Meanwhile, back at the Cathedral of Wisdom, it's time to head to the comic rack.
Hey, nice rack.
The latest news from the world of comic books, comic book movies, and TV, right here on the Ninja Troll Digicast.
All right, obviously the big things going on in comics has been both companies, DC and Marvel, making huge, mad, last-ditch efforts to get any kind of money that you have with their giant summer crossovers. It's kind of the tradition now. They have huge crossover events that have now started to just reboot everything.
Yeah.
This year for DC Comics is Convergence. A couple of years ago, what was it? 2011 that they did the New 52. They did Flashpoint, which birthed the New 52.
And then Multiversity was something.
It didn't change anything. It was kind of a...
It's like an explanation of... it was in the New 52. They were one-shots. Grant Morrison, right?
Yeah.
It was from August 2014 to April.
Yeah. Now they have done Convergence, which the concept of convergence itself collapses under its own logic very quickly, because they have taken these cities from the different different Earths or like the different universes, however you want to, and it's not just the different universes, but times.
Right.
Well, actually, they explained that as like the Legion of Superheroes was a different universe, but was 1,000 years after now.
Right. And they're in this sort of hodgepodge world.
Yes, they have been domed off, and kind of like the Kandar, the bottled city of Kandar that was always in Superman. It was a city, the last remaining city from Krypton, that had been shrunk and put in this bottle. Same kind of thing. Just these cities have been domed off and transported to this planet. We know not where. They never explained that either. And in this, they had a bunch of one-shots because people have been complaining. Okay, yeah, Crisis on Infinite Earth. You combine everything. You got rid of the multiverse, but there's these characters that we still want to see.
Right.
So when they combined them, the Golden Age superheroes,
the JSA, they now exist. They're older. So they exist in the same timeline as the Silver Age and then later heroes. We ignore the fact that Superman was part of the JSA. Right.
Because that would monkey things up too much. But they've now, put everything into one universe. And that was fine for a while. Then they decided they wanted to shake things up again.
Right.
And then the biggest one with the Flashpoint, they shook things up again and put out the New 52. But with the New 52, they had eliminated so many of the fan favorite characters. I think they heard a lot of squawking from a lot of people, and they said, okay, we want to be able to give this to these people. So that's what, at first I thought, okay, that's what they're just allowing you to see a little bit of the pre-crisis Metropolis and see those characters. But the concept of Convergence is all these dome cities, they're made, the heroes from each city are made to fight each other in a tournament.
Sounds just like the other big houses.
Except that was the villains and the heroes.
Right.
Fought each other.
This is hero on hero, villain on villain.
Yeah, and in each city, and they did little mini-series in each in different instance. When the dome went over the city, everybody lost their powers.
Uh-huh.
So if you haven't read the mini-series, I'll just encapsulate them for you right now. We haven't had our powers for a whole year. Bitch, bitch, bitch. Moan, moan, moan. Oh, the dome's down. We got our powers back. Yay, let's fight. That's the whole thing right there.
Oh, man.
They have to go and fight these other people. None of them go, hey, wait, maybe we shouldn't fight each other. Maybe we should try to figure out who's making us do this stuff and go fight
them.
him.
Yeah.
Actually, they do point that out. There was some that did say that. But when the fallacies of your stories are being pointed out by the characters in the story,
that's too much fourth wall right there.
That's bad. That's bad. I mean, if they're saying in your story, they're saying, hey, why would they actually, I don't remember which one it was, but one of the little mini-series, one of the characters said, if this entity is powerful enough to kidnap all these cities and put them here, why would he want us to fight?
Great question.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Like, that's what I'm saying. When your character in your story is pointing out the hole
in the logic.
Yeah. That's not good. And the whole thing is, and I know you haven't read it yet, so I hate to give you this little spoiler.
You know, all sales are final at Heroes.
Yes, true.
Right?
You can't take it back.
Can't bring that back. So thanks, Tim.
And actually, I talked about this a couple of weeks ago, that what I thought Convergence would end up being is a reverse Crisis. And that is exactly what it is.
Blowing it back out.
It blows it back up.
Exclusive
Now,
universes.
yes, it's now we have the multiverse back. But to do that, they talk about Flash has to survive so that he can go back and
do what he did
and do
Crisis,
what he did,
the original Crisis.
And to make things happen the way that, and Supergirl has to survive so she can die in Crisis.
Right.
But the logic of that falls in on itself. Okay, you've already pulled her out of her timeline, so she's not there anymore.
Yeah.
So that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't work that way.
So is Rip Hunter in this in Convergence?
Well, I got a Rip Hunter inspired headache from this whole thing. I'm sitting there going, okay, that doesn't make any sense. But at some point, they decide, okay, we need to stop the crisis to keep the universes from coalescing into one. So Flash disappears and Supergirl disappears, supposedly back to their timelines or universes or wherever. I don't know what they were like. Okay, is Flash going to go back and go, doink, hey, don't do that?
Yeah.
But you never get to see it.
They do it off camera.
They do it off camera.
Really? All right.
You see why I'm so mad?
I need a bird because I need to line the bird cage. Is it this bad? I mean, is it really like? Because I just read 52, right?
Yeah.
The original 52.
Now, see, I've never read that, so
that was pretty good. I mean, it was a year's worth of story,
Yeah.
right? So this is Convergence is what, 9 issues, right? 0 to
8.
0 to 8. So I mean, plus all the offshoot, right?
Don't
you said
read
there
the
was.
offshoots. Don't even bother.
But there are offshoots.
Yeah, there are offshoots. Actually, one that was decent was Swamp Thing, because the whole thing kind of came around the fact that he'd been cut off from the Earth, and so he was dying.
He needs
to
nature
exactly, and because he was cut off from the green, as he calls it. He had to be kept alive by people like the woman, I forget her name, that his sidekick, for lack of a better term,
his girlfriend.
Yeah, she had to bring him plant food, but they're in a domed off city, so they have to ration that stuff. So she's like, I can only bring you so much, so we got to figure something out.
You got to get off the Miracle Grow.
Yeah, exactly. And then
it is blue.
Yeah. But then the dome came down. So, heck, great! I can connect to the green again. Wait a minute, we're not on Earth. So, for lack of a better term, this new planet left a bad taste in his mouth.
Wow. So, does anything from Convergence, I guess we'll see, right, go forward? Because there's always a big reveal, right? So, like, well, are we into spoilers? If I tell you,
go ahead.
52.
Yeah. Well, I've already spoiled Convergence for you. So.
Yeah, spoiled. You like came in and ruined my birthday. Well, Batwoman, right? We sort of get the Kane, right? What's her first name?
Kathy Kane.
Kathy Kane, right? So we sort of get her becoming an introduction into the universe. I think Power Girl as well, or Power Girl comes into the mix at the end.
That's the thing. She's been a character that's been in and out of the comics
for a while.
Yeah. And there's different versions. It's kind of like Supergirl. There's a bunch of different versions of Supergirl.
She is Supergirl, right? Isn't Power Girl Kara El? Or
in some of the universes, yes.
Some, okay.
Yeah.
So
that's another thing we didn't talk about in the movie and TV news.
New Supergirl show.
The Supergirl show,
or the time travel show, exactly. The Flash spinoff.
Yeah, the Legends of Tomorrow, which is the
yes.
crappiest name for a show. But hey, I get what you're going for. Legends of Tomorrow, I get it, but it's pretty crappy. But they, if you have any small amount of ability on the internet, you found the Supergirl pilot. So because they leaked it, and you can see the air quotes as I'm using it. Because I think they did that on purpose because it was such a big thing with the Flash pilot leaking.
Right.
And I think that was a legitimate leak. I think they specifically leaked this out to be out there to create a buzz for when it comes on the air, because it was, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's pristine. There's no watermarks on it. There's nothing.
Oh, so it's not
leak.
Mystery Science Theater 3000 style. It's like a legit.
It's like an HD quality pilot version.
That's not a leak.
Yeah, I think it's not a leak. Exactly.
It's a pour.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think they did that specifically. But like I said, that's what we should have talked about then. But
that's cool. So with Convergence, right, we're not seeing a sort of move into the next realm, but I guess right. So Marvel's doing a reboot. They're in the midst of Secret Wars, which I know we'll probably talk about in a sec. So DC's Convergence ended. It ended a week or two ago.
Yeah.
I guess
we're going back to the to the different series, because most of the series kind of paused while Convergence was going on.
So everybody got sucked into this battle world, for lack of a better term.
Well, see, that's the thing. Nobody did. I mean, that was the problem. You even had the New 52
universe
guys there. It was like, okay, but they've not been pulled out. What are you doing here? Like I said, this kind of collapses under its own logic. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But coming out of that, like I said, the multiverse is back, which we've had Earth 2 as a series for a couple years now,
which has been good.
It's been really good. Yeah. I love it. But the people from there play a big part of Convergence, because they're out of the loop, basically. They don't have an Earth, because their Earth is destroyed by Apocalypse. So they're kind of the anomaly in Convergence.
It sounds just like Crisis. You had all these characters who were sort of like, nomads and refugees of their multiverse, right, or whatever.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see what's coming out of it. If we can get some of the characters like Booster Gold, Blue Beetle, the Ted Cord Blue Beetle, not Jaime Reyes, which Jaime Reyes as a character is not bad. It's just I preferred Ted Cord.
Yeah.
Blue and Gold, as they call him. Booster and
Blue Beetle.
I hope we get them. I hope we get a Wally West Flash series. There was a miniseries, a Convergence miniseries with Wally in it, and his kids, his kids are connected to him through the Speed Force. So if he thinks about them, they appear.
Wow.
So
that's awesome.
That can be really bad in the middle of a fight. Oh, I got to make sure that the kids are safe. Boop, there they are.
And they show
crap.
up. Yeah, right. No, go back.
Yeah, exactly. So it's interesting. It makes for interesting story possibilities. And I've always enjoyed Wally.
Well, that's your Flash,
that's
right?
My
You've
Flash,
always loved, because
exactly.
you started reading when Wally was
the Flash. Yeah.
Because Barry had disappeared in '86 from the Crisis.
Yeah, he had. We thought he was dead, but he had disappeared into the Speed Force, is what they call it now. But again, okay, with the Convergence, if he goes back and he stops himself, does that mean he never died, and therefore Wally never became Flash?
Right.
And so he's like a 35-year-old kid Flash?
That's weird.
So
yeah, there's no like Nightwing trajectory there
exactly,
for him.
Yeah. Maybe, but it may. They might come up with a thing to where, okay, no, he went from Kid Flash to Flash Guy, Fast Guy. I don't know. I mean, he could, like Nightwing, he could come up with a new identity,
right?
Rather than taking the place of, and that'd
be cool.
The really cool thing about that whole thing with Crisis. Before Crisis ever happened, Wally had quit. He'd said, okay, I'm not Kid Flash anymore. I'm retired.
Yeah.
He retired the same time Dick Grayson stopped being Robin. He hadn't become Nightwing yet.
Right.
He just said Robin is always the back end of Batman and Robin.
This is in the 80s, right? Or
yes.
70s? Or
no, this was 80s.
So Jason Todd...
that's when after he did this, then Jason Todd became
steps
Robin.
in.
Yeah.
And then Kid Flash, who was a Silver Age character, right?
Yes.
Then retires.
Yes.
Was he a Teen Titan?
It was in Teen Titans. I actually picked up that issue on Saturday at the Gaston Comic-Con.
For $1.
$2 maybe.
Pricey.
Yeah.
All right.
But I always love the cover
Timmy.
because there's two. You see Dick Grayson and Wally West walking away. You see their backs.
Oh, nice.
The rest of the cover is white, but you see the two of them walking away, and the Robin and Kid Flash costume, like the pieces of it, are laying all over the cover, like they had just took off the costumes and let them fall, and they left them laying.
Awesome.
It's one of my favorite covers, and the Teen Titans series was always that's it right there.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
I know everyone out there can't see the one that I'm pointing to.
Oh, that's
but
yeah, right. So they're walking away.
They're
all
walking
costumes
away,
are
leaving
off.
the costumes laying there. So he had retired and just said, you know what? I'm not a superhero anymore. I'm not Kid Flash. I'm retired. Then when Barry died, he gave up his life to save everybody. he said, I'm going to honor him
And be the
by
Flash
taking
again.
his name.
And it's Wolfman and Perez.
Yes.
We're doing Titans at the
You
time.
can't get better than that.
No, and what a great transition
You
into
cannot
Crisis.
get better than that. Yeah. So.
Wow. So I feel like they, like with the way that they're, maybe, I don't know, this is speculation, but with the way that they're playing with the Spider-Verse, it seemed like in the DC side, the Flash would be the one character that I think they could do, because he's had so many popular versions.
There's different speedsters. There's Impulse, who is Bart Allen, Barry's grandson.
Right.
Who came
from
back.
the future.
Who came back in time. There's Wally's kids. I forget their names, Jesse and something else. But there's also
Jay Garrick.
There's Max Mercury. There's Jesse Quick. So there's been other speedsters that you could play a lot around with that, and they did that in the Wally West Flash, because he didn't have Barry around, because Barry was his uncle and his mentor, his superhero mentor, and he loved him like a father. He didn't have him all of a sudden. Now he's trying to be a superhero. He needs all the help he can get.
Yeah.
So Jay is there a lot with a lot of advice for him. So you got more of a family feel with that. So there's a lot of possibilities you can do with that. So I'm glad to see that the multiverse is back. I hope they make good use of it, and you get some of the characters that people have been wanting to see, and we get them back. Coming out of it, they have announced a couple like sneak peeks. Superman's identity is now revealed. Everybody knows who he is.
He's Clark. Yeah.
That is Clark Kent, and they powered him down a bit. I don't know if that's just like the writer said, okay, he's too powerful, let's make him, or whether something's happened in the story that has weakened him a little bit.
I heard a couple episodes back you guys talked about Superman's new power?
Yeah. Which is basically like what do they call it? Super flare. He just basically blows up.
Oh.
And
All right.
but he goes supernova, but then for like 2 days he has no powers.
Oh, so he sort of expunges all his
Yeah. Because Superman is essentially a solar battery.
Right.
So basically, he just expends all of his power or all of his energy in one fell swoop.
Yeah, sort of a.
So he has to build back up for the next couple of days.
Who's that guy? Captain Atom.
Yeah.
Right. Who will from time to time they'll scuffle. And because he's a good guy though, right?
Yeah.
Captain Atom.
Yeah.
But he'll hit him with Red Sun energy.
Yeah.
Weaken him.
He has the power of different energy. So yeah, he can hit him with he can cut out the ultraviolet light that powers him from our sun.
Yes.
So yeah.
And I just pulled up here, just quick side note, there is a fantastic map that DC put out years ago, and they've redone it a couple times, I think, as the sort of different things happen of the multiverse.
Nice.
So it's a map of it, and you have all the different sort of areas where people are, right? So like there's time and place, and then all the Earths sort of within this inner sphere. But like Hell, Apocalypse, Underworld, Dream, Heaven, New Genesis, Skyland, and Nightmare are like these outer worlds, and I mean it's amazing. And then like I guess the Spectre is somewhere in here.
He's kind of over everything.
Yeah.
And he has been in different universes. He's been so powerful that he stopped the Earth from spinning.
Nice.
Yeah. So when he gets cranked up, he's trouble to deal with.
I mean, in Kingdom Come, like that's another sort of elsewhere story. I mean, it was sort of like a Scrooge kind of thing, because he takes that minister through like all the stuff unfolding.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to diverge from Convergence, but having a map of the multiverse, I think, is critical to know. Because like there's different Batmans and different folks from different ones, and some are good and some
that's
aren't.
the thing with the Earth 2 society, and that's the beginning of the Earth 2 series. There was a war with Apocalypse, with Darkseid, where Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman died. So Earth 2 was literally like a new wave of superheroes.
Oh, wow.
So you had Thomas Wayne, the father of the Batman from that
Oh,
world,
wow.
who basically is cranking himself upon Venom.
Which is what Bane takes, right?
Which is what Bane uses, yeah, to honor his son's memory and be the Batman.
So he's a jacked up Batman.
And it's like, okay, we're getting ready to, all right, we're gonna have a battle.
Hit the pipe,
and he's ready to go. But it ravages his body, and if he does it a couple times a day, it can really, really hurt him bad.
Wow.
But the Earth 2 group coming out of Convergence.
I see a picture of him here.
Yeah.
Was this him?
No, that's not.
No, that's something.
No. That's from Marvel.
Oh.
But coming out of the Convergence, well, actually going into Convergence, Apocalypse has attacked Earth again, and Apocalypse, the planet Apocalypse is an entity, and it needs to feed. So it envelops the Earth to feed on it. So at the end of the Earth 2 series, they've gotten maybe 500,000 people off of the Earth, but that's it.
Wow.
Everybody else is dead.
500,000 from 5 billion, 6 billion,
7 billion.
Yeah, right, wherever we're at now.
So they've left, and coming out of Convergence, Earth 2 Society is the series that's going to be going. They find a new planet, and they have to rebuild. The Green Lantern, it's Alan Scott, not the Green Lantern Corps Green Lantern. It's Alan Scott, who actually he is the avatar for the Earth, kind of the way Swamp Thing is. He's the defender of the green.
Wow.
Although it's going to be interesting, he gets his power from the Earth. They're on a new planet.
So where's his
how's
power?
that going to affect?
Is it only the one charge he has left?
Yeah. But
Will he have 2 eyes?
Yeah.
Right, because I'm in 52. He's got 1 eye, Alan Scott.
Okay.
I
don't know that.
He lost it somewhere. Yeah.
Okay. But there's also the Flash, Jay Garrick, who's a young guy.
Really?
Yes.
Graduate school level Jay Garrick?
Yes. Right? Actually, no, he's even younger than that. He's like just out of high school kind of age.
And he's got the Speed Force.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
From the same accident.
But he's on, they've never mentioned another Flash. So this Earth never had another Speedster.
Cool.
So you got Green Lantern, Flash, Hawk Girl, Power Girl, and during Convergence, they actually, in the regular series, you meet Dick Grayson, not attached to Batman at all. He's a cop in Chicago. And during the last part of the Earth 2 series, he meets up with Thomas Wayne Batman. They have a connection still, though.
Interesting.
So during Convergence, Thomas Wayne dies. So he decides he's going to be the Batman now.
Is he going to take the Venom?
Yeah. No, he's young enough he doesn't have to. So.
Okay. Oh, so Thomas takes the Venom to fight.
Just to crank
so otherwise
himself up.
He's like
He's
Black
old.
Adam, right?
Yeah.
He's got to be in power, otherwise
Yeah.
he's an old, feeble guy.
He's old, yeah. So in the new series, Earth 2 Society, these heroes are trying to rebuild the society on a new planet.
Cool.
So it should be interesting. I mean, that's and that's coming out of Convergence. Also, this actually happened before Convergence in the Batman regular series.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's dead. Yeah, he died. Allegedly.
Seriously?
You don't see it. It doesn't happen on screen. You're left at the last panel to go, wait, what? Is he dead? Huh?
Is that
so?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the teaser image of a mechanized Batman.
Yes, like the Iron.
Yes.
Batman.
That looks like a bunny. It's got
the big ears.
It's supposed to look like a bat, but it looks like a bunny.
Oh.
That is actually Jim Gordon in a mechanized suit.
You're kidding.
So he is going to be
old Jim Gordon.
Yes.
Wow.
He is going to be Batman for the foreseeable future. Because I mean, he's not. Good well, he's not dead.
Yeah.
He's not going to be. Bruce Wayne's not going to go away as Batman.
Well, in a couple of the Elseworld stories, Batman does make a suit.
Yeah.
I think even when Bane...
Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, he's all mechanized, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise he can't. He's so old.
Yeah. Yeah. But this is... I don't know how Gordon gets the suit, where he gets it from, or what's going on. I haven't read... I don't think a post-Convergence issue is out yet. Because like I said, they paused. So we haven't had an issue... Batman issue for like 2 months.
Wow.
So when the new one comes out, we'll see what's going on. But the image itself looks horrible to me. And like I said, it looks like a bunny. I didn't even look at it and go, oh, hey, that's a Batman suit.
I got to see this. So this is what, post-Convergence Batman?
Yeah, Batman.
Oh, man.
Or bat suit, maybe.
Oh, wow.
See?
I really see it.
See?
Wow.
It looks like a damn bunny.
It looks like the robotic Donnie Darko.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, like I said, I didn't even look at it and say, "Oh, hey, that's a Batman suit."
Just minor details of it, like the bat logo on the chest, but it looks like something out of Robotech.
That was the one that they first released. Was the shot from the back.
This right here.
Yeah, and it looks even worse from there.
Yeah, he's got like missile launchers on his back and stuff. Oh, man.
So, and it may be a situation to where that's just like a fill-in. Somebody has to do it. But, okay, where's Dick Grayson? Where's, there's like, now all of a sudden
Gordon.
there's like 40 members, seems like 40 members of the Bat family.
Yeah.
Well, where are they at?
Right.
Damian,
Yeah.
he's around. He's a little punk kid, but hey, he's Robin. He's a
if you
trained
rolled in
assassin.
a suit, he'd be like Krang.
Exactly, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure, like I said, he's not dead. He'll be back soon. It's just like a little, it's a gimmick to get people to go, oh, wait, Batman's dead? What's going on? Why is he in a suit? Yeah, and get them to buy it. So, but I've always, it's like, if you do stuff like that, you take the chance of pissing off your regular readers.
Mm.
I mean, I always read Batman no matter what. So those gimmicks, I mean, you don't need gimmicks. Just write good damn stories.
Right.
And you'll get it.
And don't reboot, every
Constantly.
so often.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It'd be so wonderful to keep some of these story arcs going.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just, it seems like they get into this when it's convenient to sort of, I don't know. It's always, they always sort of make the marketing argument, right? It's like, well, we want to bring new readers in, right?
Yeah.
To sort of build in and everything like that. And it's like, well, I guess the challenge is how do you bring new readers in and not shuffle out old readers, right?
Yeah,
To sort of...
because if you rehash the same thing over, it's like the argument about the Spider-Man movies. If you constantly, every time you have a Spider-Man movie,
it's like every year, every 2 years,
Uncle Ben getting shot and do the with great power comes great responsibility thing, it gets boring.
Right.
Come up with something different, but they feel like, oh, they have to do that. They have to show where he came from, and they have to do that point again. It's like, okay. At this point, if you don't know that his uncle got killed,
yeah,
and that's what made him do it, then why are you going to watch the movie? I mean, it's one of those things of Batman. His parents were killed, and that's he watched his parents murdered when he was 8 years old, and that's what made him want to become a hero, so nobody else had to go through that.
Right.
It's kind of accepted as lexicon now.
Yeah.
So you don't have to rehash it.
They think I don't know, maybe because of new context and stuff and new time, new place, right?
Yeah.
Sort of new way of thinking. And the other thing too is like you can't sort of like pinpoint an actor now who sort of plays a consistent Spider-Man. But stepping here really quick, I just sort of was looking at some of the spin-off titles. It looks like they're going to do a lot of solo named issues, and it looks like the most exciting one of them is Black Canary.
Black Canary, from what I was reading today, she is in a band.
Cool.
She
so it's like Dazzler?
Yeah, she has her
Gem?
own band. Yeah, she's Jim in the holograms. She's in her own band. I'm not sure how that kind of fits in with being a superhero, but hey, if it works, it works.
I suppose, yeah, but I guess she hasn't had a solo series or hasn't had one in a long time.
if she's ever had one, it's been a long time. 'Cause she's always been like a side character in Green Arrow.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know if she's ever had a solo series.
But it looks like they're sticking with the with kind of a cool classic style. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been reading or checked out. I know when we were at MiniCon with Chuck and Laura, we saw the guy who's drawing Meteor Men, and then
is that Hickman? Jonathan Hickman?
I forget his name now. But then he's doing the Batman 66.
Okay, yeah.
Where they're sort of illustrating the classic episodes, which I picked up, by the way, and it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Because they can do in comics what they can't do in the show.
Yeah.
And they're sort of able to sort of take it, and the characters get a little bit larger in terms of how they are. Their sets and their layers are over the top, and it's not all reliant on. And I think they're doing some more of the way Batman operates now, right?
Yeah.
Sort of in the '60s framework.
Yeah.
Right. So I know he doesn't have the gun that
the grapple
hoists
gun.
him. He's still, but it's still on a gun that still shoots a hook.
Yeah.
It's like, and not everything's a spray. It's like
bat shark repellent.
that he uses underwater, right?
I love that.
Yeah, but they're keeping it looks like with a pop kind of classic style.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a little goth,
Yeah.
which is kind of fun, and then ripped fishnet stockings.
Yeah, well, she's always had the
class.
fishnet, so now because she's punk, they've got to be ripped. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the on the other side, Marvel in their big summer extravaganza, is Secret Wars.
Oh, excited about that.
That one has been way more. I mean, it's almost like I read Convergence and then Secret Wars started, and it was like I read that and go, oh, okay, this is good. I mean,
I forgot what a good crossover felt like.
I mean, because the thing with Secret Wars in the Marvel universe, they've had for a while now. They've had what they call incursions, where that's where a universe, basically two universes, crash together and it destroys both of them. So that's been happening, and they haven't been able to stop it. And finally, the last two, the regular Marvel universe and the Ultimate Universe, smash together.
Yeah.
And what comes out of it, basically, I think Dr. Doom, they haven't said this, but Dr. Doom saw it coming and was able to steer it. So when they crash together, he creates Battleworld. And because Battleworld is all under the command of the god Doom. Everybody worships Doom as a god.
Oh, wow.
And there's all the different areas in Battleworld are headed up by a baron. And they all owe fealty to
So
Doom.
it's like a serfdom kind of kingdom type thing.
So you've got Manhattan, you've got Greenland, the Hulk.
Yeah.
It's where everybody's a Hulk. The different areas. There's
I'm trying to see if we can pull open a map here.
yeah.
Yes,
They
a map.
released a map with all the different areas of Battleworld.
Yeah.
But
cool.
it's all you'll never be able to see that.
That's hard to see. Yeah.
It's too small. All the different areas are controlled by different people, and it's different variations of the regular stories. And for me, when I'm reading it, it's like, are these people going to start to go, hey, wait a minute, this isn't the way it's always been?
Yeah.
Will they start to remember
where the differences?
The differences. Will that come out? There's been
there's 41 areas of Battleworld with 3 classified areas, which we don't know yet.
I'm sure we'll get those.
Yeah.
But the Thor Corps is Doom's basically police force.
Oh, so that's like a Beta Ray Bill.
You get to see Beta Ray Bill. Sam Wilson, Falcon, is a Thor.
Wow. Sam, really?
Yes. So there's and so you have characters like that came from the regular Marvel universe or the Ultimate Universe. They're thrown in there, and it's kind of slightly out of whack.
Yeah.
But the way they put it together is much more compelling and much more interesting than what DC has done with Convergence.
Yeah. Well, I mean, DC's been on this loop for a while. I mean, they had Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah.
Then they had, what was next after that? Like the Final Hour?
I don't remember.
That was when Green Lantern became
Parallax.
Parallax, right?
Yeah.
He was like a
that was Zero
super
Hour.
0 hour. Yep. And then we had Identity Crisis, Infinite Crisis, Final Crisis.
Yeah.
And then now
Flashpoint,
and then, Multiversity, and then now Convergence, which
Yeah.
have been very similar stories, right?
Basically, it's the same story over and over again. But this is, it's interesting. It makes sense, and that's the thing that bugged me about Convergence. Like I said, it collapsed on itself as far as logic.
Yeah.
This makes sense. This has, especially when the ultimate end is what they called it. It was the end of the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah.
And it was the last couple panels was the end of the final incursion, where they're all coming together, and it's getting to where it's closer, and they're dark panels, and then you have one panel in between them that's just Doom's eyes. So he's doing, he's in control. He's in control of it.
Yeah.
And then it comes out of it that now everybody's worshiping Doom as God.
Oh man!
So
they're doing really good with this. It's amazing.
Exactly, and it's coming off very well. And it may peter out, it may fall apart, but it's being set up much better than Convergence is right now.
And the I know you guys had talked about this when Secret Wars was being first announced, right? We're sort of in the middle of it right now. But there was, in fact, a Secret Wars 2.
There was, yeah. That
came out.
When did that come out?
85 to 86.
Okay.
It was a sequel to it, a tie-in feature. Let's see here. All right, so the Beyonder visits Earth in search of enlightenment. And then I guess I'm wondering, because I read Secret Wars 1, I never read this one. I wonder if they're looping in any of the connector.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's now, it's being called Secret Wars, but it's not really, it's not connected to the original at all.
Because we're not going to see a black-suited Spider-Man.
No, they're not. They're one of the areas on Battleworld is the Spider-Verse.
Oh, wow.
So,
yes, Spider-Land.
Yeah. So there will be, and that's where we're going to, coming out of it, all these characters from both universes have slammed together on the Battle World. So coming out of it, that's how we get all of them into one universe now.
Wow.
But again, okay, you've got Miles Morales, Peter Parker, Gwen Stacy, and then the Spider-Man 2099, which I think his name is...
Right, we were talking
Pablo?
about this before.
Yeah, we were talking about this before. It was, so you've got all of those. You can't call them all, if they're all in one universe, you can't call them all Spider-Man.
Miguel O'Hara.
What? Miguel O'Hara, that's right. A good
Irish
Mexican
Latino
name.
guy, yeah, right.
But you can't, Peter Parker and Miles Morales can't both be Spider-Man. And Gwen Stacy is Spider-Woman, but there's already Jessica Drew,
who's Spider-Woman
properly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you do? I think it's good to keep these characters around because I like all of them, but you have to give them separate names.
And there'll be a similar thing. Sam Wilson will become Cap.
Sam Wilson, he's already Cap. He's been Cap for a couple months now.
Oh wow.
He's Captain America, but Steve Rogers now has aged.
Yeah,
so he's still there.
Powerless.
Yeah, he's still there. He's just too old to do it now.
Yeah.
You also got you'll have a new Wolverine, X-23.
Cool.
Which is, I read yesterday. It was like somebody was saying, it kind of makes sense because X-23 is a female clone of Wolverine. How do you do that?
Yeah.
If it's a clone.
Right. You have to change the gender.
You can't
somehow.
change the gender if it's not a clone. If it's a clone, it's a guy.
Right. It's got to be an offspring of some sort.
It doesn't make sense.
Right.
But you also have Old Man Logan. If you look at that image that they released, there's Old Man Logan, which I thought was a great storyline. It was, if you've never read it, Wolverine is he was manipulated into going on a killing spree of the rest of the X-Men. So
seriously,
Mysterio did it. He created an illusion. So he comes to basically realize he's killed all of his friends. So he's like, okay, that's it. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm gonna go over here and just stay.
Wow.
And unfortunately, the rest of the world kind of went apocalyptic. And so the storyline is set where
they need him.
Yeah, they need him because he's living off in the middle of
Yukon?
nowhere.
Yeah, his little.
And the United States is now split into little nation states controlled by supervillains.
Nice.
And so he has to make his way across this apocalyptic wasteland.
Oh wow! With each its own danger, its own rules, and that sounds awesome.
This is in Magneto country. This is in Mr. Sinister's land. So it was a very good story.
Cool. This is Old Man Logan?
Old Man Logan. It was actually part of the regular Wolverine series, but I'm sure they've got a trade paperback.
The art looks amazing.
Yeah.
Wolverine, Old Man Logan. Yeah, see. Wow, yeah, he's definitely old.
Grizzled. Yeah. But yeah, after he kills everybody, he vows that he'll never pop his claws again. And so it's one of those things where somebody comes and we need your help. Screw you, get out of here.
Right.
And they keep they pushed him past a point to where he's got to fight.
Sounds like when he joined the X-Men.
Billy Jack.
Yeah. Right.
Old school kung fu movie.
These sequoias aren't going to come down themselves.
That's right. But so
cool.
You've got X-23 as Wolverine, and they're specifically calling her Wolverine. But then you've got Old Man Logan. So I don't know how long that's going to last because I think Wolverine has gotten to this point, just like Batman, just like Superman, just like Spider-Man. Nobody's going to accept somebody else for very long in that. Miles Morales did okay, but it was like, oh, that's in the Ultimate Universe. It doesn't really count.
Yeah.
People want to see Peter Parker as Spider-Man. People want to see Bruce Wayne as Batman. People want to see Clark Kent as Superman. That's just the way it is. Now,
but you want to see Wally West as the Flash.
True. Yeah. Maybe I'm the aberration. I don't know. But it's kind of the same thing. That's why they've returned to Barry Allen
as being
current
Flash.
The current Flash.
Yeah.
And that actually feeds into my actual point. I'm the exception to that rule. Yeah. I think the same thing with Wolverine, especially now with the movies.
Well, they've kept him so long as Logan. There's never
everybody thinks of Hugh Jackman.
Totally.
When they think Wolverine.
And he's not going to do it again, right?
He's retired.
Yeah.
He's retiring from being Wolverine. So, which, I mean, as he put it, there's only so long I can eat egg white omelets.
Yeah. Right. To stay like that ripped all the time, right? And
so, you can't continue to do that. So, and that's understandable.
Well,
but,
neither can I. So,
exactly.
It's hard.
I gave it up years ago.
Yeah. Programmer's body is it's a tough one.
That I can maintain.
Hold on. Yeah.
Mountain Dew and Slim Jims. That takes care of that.
That's the 2 and the 3 food groups.
But yeah, the Secret Wars is thus far holding together a whole lot better. But they've teased a lot of new stuff. They're saying this is not a reboot, but they're promoting the all new, all different Marvel.
Right.
So. One of the first things that has been announced post Secret Wars is the Invincible Iron Man series.
Oh, that's a
so they're returning. Series. Yeah, they're returning the name to Invincible Iron Man, which for a long time, or not a long time, but Superior Iron Man.
Oh.
Which I actually kind of was. I liked that series because he had been his mind had been affected to where he was. Almost a villain.
Really?
To where he was holding San Francisco hostage with his Extremis app. Like he released Extremis, which made everybody one of the beautiful people for like 48 hours, and then went, oh, it's deactivated now. If you want it, you'll have to pay me. Yeah. So he was almost
like corporate Tony.
Yeah, yeah. And then he had backed up years ago. He had backed up his mind in a computer program,
right?
For just this
kind of like the Jarvis
contingency. Yeah. So that the AI Tony had taken over a suit and went to fight
the dude Tony, the
bad dude Tony,
the corrupted Tony.
Exactly. So it was a little weird, and he would destroy one of the suits, and then all of a sudden one of his other suits would just come.
Yeah, right. He's got Mark 1 through 1 million
exactly
of those suits.
So, but they've also teased an all-new Hulk that isn't Bruce Banner.
Really?
But they're saying it's somebody that the readers know already.
I wonder.
Now, because actually, I mean, a bunch of different people have been. Rick Jones, Betty Ross,
right.
Thunderbolt Ross.
Who's the Red Hulk?
That's Thunderbolt. So there's been several different people around him that have been turned into some type of Hulk creature, but recently in the Hulk, he's gotten the Extremis from Tony, so he's now super intelligent. He makes people call him Doc Green instead of the Hulk.
He's not the credible Hulk.
Exactly. Yeah, he's not. He's not the credible Hulk that backs up his theories with facts. But he's been going around to depower all the other gamma infused creatures.
Oh wow!
So he's been like hunting down She-Hulk, and I don't think he got to She-Hulk, but Red Hulk was the last one he got. But Rick Jones, who was, I think it was A-Bomb is what they called
A-Bomb?
Rick.
Because Rick Jones was there, right? During the original, the origin of Banner.
Yeah.
What about Abomination? Is he a gamma
same thing,
person?
Yeah. Yeah. So he had basically got a vaccination or a cure for each of them and ran them down and like eliminated all of them except for him.
Wow.
But then now it's going into Secret Wars. So you'd be interested to see if it is somebody other than Banner, how long that lasts as well. Again, I don't think it's going to last for very long because people want to see Bruce Banner as the Hulk.
Yeah.
The Red Hulk was always, it was just weird for me because it's
like green ketchup.
It's not.
Something not right about that.
But yeah, it's not Bruce Banner. Thunderbolt Ross is who chases him, not who becomes the Hulk. That was always weird to me. So, it'd be interesting to see how long that lasts after coming out of that. But one last thing in the comics news, in Marvel's Star Wars series, which Disney is saying is canon, that they're gonna include that in what is canon
7,
for the movies.
8, and
9. No, not the original, the one that's out now.
Oh, okay.
They have revealed. Actually, I don't know if the episode or the issue is out yet, but in the most recent issue of Star Wars, they have revealed that Han Solo was married before A New Hope, before he meets all the rest of the guys in A New Hope.
Interesting. 2?
And
we don't know yet.
They in the last 2 issues, a masked female character has been chasing him down. Not in a good way. She's pissed. So I'm thinking it was he got married just to get out of somewhere or get out of trouble, and now he took off. She's pissed and she's chasing him down. But it's going to be included as part of his history for the movies now.
That's awesome.
So it's definitely gonna throw a monkey wrench into things.
Because we don't meet him till A New Hope, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But he's got a whole sordid past.
Yeah, that they never really talk about. I mean, it's and they fleshed it out in the expanded universe with the books and.
Timothy Zahn, Children of the Force.
Yeah, that was after. Those are all set after, but they actually did a Han Solo trilogy that was set
that's right.
before.
Yeah.
He went to the Imperial Academy.
Right,
and that's where he
right.
met Chewbacca. And he saved Chewbacca from being a slave. And that's why they're always together. Because Chewbacca owes him a life debt.
I see. Yeah. Sorry.
Those were the Han Solo at Han Solo's Revenge and Han Solo at Star's End. Those came out in the late 70s.
Yeah, they look like it.
Yeah. I got those like when I was a kid in the 70s and just ate them up. But yeah,
those the A.C. Crispin.
Yeah.
Paradise Snare, Rebel Dawn, and the Hutt Gambit.
Yeah, those are all set before we meet him in A New Hope, and it sets up what he's done in his life before.
19-year-old Han Solo.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and he's with a woman. They seem to be they've got guns
but
blazing.
They didn't introduce anybody that he was married to in those books. So this is all new.
It's all brand new.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah. It's definitely with it being included in canon with the new movie coming out. Are they going to reference it in the movie? Because, I mean, we all assume that he's going to be married to Leia in the movie.
Right. Well, that's how they've done it in the other, the Children of the Force.
But they've thrown all that away.
Wow.
All that stuff is gone now. So.
I wonder if they'll make him hate us. Or make us hate him, right? And because he's so beloved, right? If you bring him in and he's a jerk immediately, I wonder if they build that up where he comes around.
He's back to being a scoundrel when he comes in. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, it's one of those things. It's everybody is excited. I think much more excited. Well, I was gonna say much more excited for this new one than they were for Episode 1. I take that back.
Say so.
I take that back. Everybody was excited for Episode 1. Up until they saw it.
Oh, I know. It was.
I'm
a bit of a letdown.
I don't look at it. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
I don't like it as much as I did the original trilogy, but I don't hate it the way most people do.
I just felt like it did too much in one movie. Like I felt like they had so much to explain.
Yeah.
Whereas the originals were more paced.
And
slow, and things happened. They didn't explain everything.
Yeah.
I feel like there's that burden now because it's grown to be such a universe. So it's
what I wanted going into it is I wanted to see a space battle.
Cool. We got it.
Check.
Yep.
I wanted to see fully functioning Jedi, not a broken down old man.
Right.
Not a train yourself at home Jedi.
Yeah.
I wanted to see a fully functioning Jedi. Got that. And I wanted a badass villain and a big lightsaber duel. We had that with spades.
Oh, Darth Maul.
Yeah,
right?
those lightsaber battles were awesome.
Yeah.
So if for nothing other than that, I'm fine with the movie. And it was kind of slow pace. But it was Palpatine with his first chess moves to get everything set up to take over the galaxy.
Right.
And you have to have that. It has to be kind of like a Tom Clancy kind of thing. At some point,
sleeper.
Yeah. It has to be some kind of like political thing because that's what he's doing.
Yeah. He got everybody to say we should all fight and let's do this, and it was such a paper army, that they
exactly. Yeah. So we've got to fight. Oh, we just happen to have this lone army. We don't know where it came from, but there it is. Let's just use it.
Boom.
Yeah. So now all of a sudden he's got a clone army. So yeah, I mean, it was. I didn't hate the original or the prequel trilogy as much as most people did.
I think honestly, I think probably the Jar Jar factor.
That
was
a big part, yeah.
Because I loved watching young Anakin tinker. I love the way they sort of made old school Tatooine. The pod race was exciting.
Yeah.
I mean that was like Beggar's Canyon, sort of story built in, without seeing Luke doing it.
Yeah.
And then, I love I just think it was Naboo, like just having it was just weird.
Yeah.
It just kind of went a strange way.
Yeah, and there was a lot of people that complained that, it was Disney, so the kids Disney syndrome because the kid saved the day. You don't get it. He's the chosen one.
Right.
Of course he saved the day.
Yeah, right.
That's the whole point.
And then he's meant to unsave the day later.
Yeah, and the only the real issue I saw was in between 1 and 2, there was so much time. it's like you had to reintroduce this character.
Right, because he was brand new. He was older, right? And he was starting to get into what he was doing, and he had a bad haircut.
Oh, he had a really bad haircut, yeah. And a bad actor. That's the one problem.
Hayden Christensen, yeah.
is just a crappy actor.
I know, yeah. He was like just awkward the whole time.
Yeah. But that is a look at our comic news, and we're a little bit out of time, so we're going to have to go ahead and cut it short. I know we're going to talk about video games, and we're going to have to do that some other time.
That sounds good.
And like we were talking about at the beginning, HeroesCon's coming up. We're going to be doing a show at HeroesCon. If we can get internet access, we're going to do it live from there. I don't know if that's going to work or not, but if nothing
I'll bring
else,
my foil hat.
There you go. You bring your full hat. We'll be ready. If nothing else, we're going to record it there on the floor at our table and upload it when we get home.
Perfect.
So we're going to be doing shows at HeroesCon. If you're going to be there at HeroesCon, come by our table. We're going to have stickers. We're going to have a little interactive display that you can interact with. You can become a superhero. So come by our table. Say hello if you're at HeroesCon June 19th, 20th, and 21st. And not only do you get to meet us, you can meet some dude named Stan Lee. But that's neither that's neither here nor there.
But that's
We're
after.
the reason to come.
Right.
So that's going to do it for this Ninja Troll Digicast. Mike, I want to thank you so much for being here with us, Professor Pixel.
Thank you.
For this episode of the Ninja Troll Digicast, and we'll see you next time.
You've been listening to the Ninja Troll Digicast on Spreaker.com. Tune in next time when you'll hear Timmy D say,
Go! Get to the chopper!
This is Ninja Troll.
The revolution in
Digicast.
Don't go ninja, nobody don't need ninja.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.